Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today we're going to talk about another student joins a class, also known as Billy brings a friend. Now this friend we're going to call Betty. Now, Billy had been talking to Betty about the things we've been doing, and she asked if she could get in on it. So she came to the meeting with me and Billy. I said, sure, I'll listen. And one of the things I pounded home, I said, there's no pussyfooting with me. You're either all in or all out, and if you can't make that decision, I'm done. So I had to sit down and interview her, and I bet I spent an hour talking to just her. And I believe she's only 22 years old, just like Billy. But she's been kicked around enough that I think she's ready to turn her life around. I think this could be good. She's been on the streets since she was 14 years old. Her mom died or something. And she's been couch surfing from the time she was 14 till the time she was 21. She finally landed a job at Walgreens doing whatever, making $15 an hour, walking to and from work. And I gotta tell you, I know where both of these places are. She's probably walking 5 or 6 miles each way every day to her job, and she's done that for over a year. She has no car. She has no debt. She rents a house for $500 a month. Now, the house that she rents is in a terrible part of town. And the place that she works is in not too bad part of town. So I see some potential here. She is willing to walk to her job a far distance each way. Can you imagine working on your feet 8 hours a day and then turning around and have to walk home for 4, 5, 6 miles? Holy cow. So I got some rough numbers. She spends roughly $1,150 a month on expenses. And she's bringing in around $1,600 a month. Now, I know right up front that $1,150 is low because I know she smokes pot, and that's a couple $100. But we'll deal with that issue when it comes. She's got 0 savings, 0 checking. She has no banking experience at all. We talked about that at pretty great length, and what I was checking for was to see if there was anything to keep her from getting a checking or savings, and if there is, I can't find it. While we were sitting there, I had her join Credit Karma. They said she had a 400 score or something like that, something ridiculously low. So then I made her contact myfreecreditreport.com and get a paper copy of her credit report from all 3 companies. I have not received that yet. Because I wanted to be able to have the time to take it home and dissect it, not just look at it on the phone. But she, like I said, she's got no savings, she's got no emergency fund. Why she doesn't have a bike is beyond me. But to her credit, she has $450 extra a month, and I'm assuming that's to take care of things as they come up. Now, I have not seen the paper reports yet, but when I asked her about it, she showed Billie, and all three reports said she has 0 credit rating, which is good. There was no derogatory, there was no bad thing, just said 0 credit bureau. That's a huge difference than 450. So, I gave it some thought, and I have come up with a plan. There's a lot more moving parts to this plan than there was with Billie or with our first student. But I think we're going to get a lot further, a lot quicker than we're going to with Billie. And here's why. Because if the credit bureau is not a problem, let's say that I put her on my, as an authorized user, and she gets up pretty quick, which, by the way, I did that for Billie, and his jumped 100 points in a week. So it is possible. But what I see for Betty, first thing she's going to need to do is she's going to need to go to a credit union and open a checking and a savings. And I don't know which one, and maybe even a bank. I would prefer savings and loan or credit union because they tend to be cheaper, and they will let you in, and they have programs to help people building their credit, and we're looking for help. But anyway, that's going to be the first thing. Second thing is we're going to work on her credit bureau. The quicker we can get her credit bureau up, the better. And I'll come back to that in a minute. The third thing I'm going to ask her to do is go find a little part-time job for the next 6 months while the weather is good. And it doesn't have to be a lot of hours, but I want her to get enough hours and enough money so she can put some money down on a car. Now this fall, just before the weather gets bad, I want to be able to take that money and her credit score, which should be pretty decent by then, and I want her to lease a car. I don't want her to buy, because if any repairs need to be done, I want her to lease them. Now here's where I see a big advantage. Because she lives in a bad part of town, not just it was bad, okay? Rough part of town. And she lives by herself. She's got no pets, no kids. And she's perfectly fine there. She's comfortable. So I think that within 2 years, because she's never owned a home before, I think she'll have enough money for a first-time home buyer loan that she'll be able to get a duplex, not in a terrible part of town, but not necessarily in a great part of town. She'll be a lot happier. She'll be able to drive to and from work. She'll be able to save money in the bank. She'll be able to live for free. I see a lot of advantages pretty quickly. We just got to get the right things done at the right time in the right way. And I think that's going to be possible. The problem is mobility. Now, Billie says he's going to help her out, help her around, and if that's true, then we can get a lot of this done pretty quick. But we're going to find out here pretty quick because I want to see the paperwork from the credit bureaus. Then I want her to apply for a card, and just let's see what happens. But I think this video called Billy Brings a Friend. And by the way, if you notice the numbers out to the side, I decided to start doing it this way. I'm going to change Billy's numbers to 201, and the number 2 will be the student number you are, and then the 01, 02, 03, 04, that'll be the number of times we met. So like Betty will be student number 3, and this number will be 301, our first time that we've met. But I just wanted to figure it out because I didn't want to get confused in a year looking back at these videos trying to figure out who's who. So anyway, Billy brings a friend. Lots of issues, lots of problems, but lots of potential. And I do believe that if she buys into the program, and that's a figure of speech, these are absolutely free. And I should mention, all of the teaching that I do is free. It is the result of an agreement between God and I that everything He blesses me in, I bless others. He gave me a painting job that I've had for 17 years. If people ask me, I will paint for free. He has blessed our financial ministry for the last ever. So if people want to learn about finance, I'll teach them for free for as long as it takes. So I believe that God blesses each of us so that we can be a blessing to others. And I know that's true because the Bible says so. And there's only one time in the Bible where God says, go ahead and test me in these things. And He's talking about finances. And I want to be a witness right here, right now. Because that's what God calls us to be, as a witness. I have tested Him in this. And He has blessed our ministry over and over and over and over. And He made me promise that anything I did for the ministry, I do for me. So as the ministry gets blessed, so do I. And as He blesses me in the ministry, I can go out and bless others. And that, my friend, is the love of God. Well, Billy brings a friend. Her name is Betty. We got the info. We got a plan. The question is she still on board? We have an appointment to meet next weekend. I'll keep you up to speed. You guys have a great day, a great week, and happy investing.